Welcome back, Planeswalkers, to another episode of the Hive Mind. My name is Jon Dunning, and this is the show where I traverse the multiverse in search of other prominent members of the Magic the Gathering community. And before I tell you who's traversing today, why don't you head on over to cardsphere.com. That's right, cardsphere.com is simply the very best place to buy, sell, and trade your paper Magic the Gathering cards online. While you're out traversing, why don't you head on over to inkedgaming.com, enter a promo code HiveMindMTG to receive 10% off your purchase. But without further ado, heading back over to the UK, planeswalking in from Bristol, England, I have Tim Walker, aka the Dijital Llama. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, John. Absolute pleasure. Yeah. Been really looking forward to this.
Yeah, this has been a long time coming, man. I feel like we've kind of came up through the ranks. I mean, as much as I guess the ranks that we've achieved, but you know, we kind of came up together. I think we started around the same time.
Yeah,
and it's just very surprising that we haven't done this sooner.
I know. Yeah, it's the Atlantic time difference getting in the way.
Yeah, but
we'll pin it on that.
That's not going to stop us from partaking. I see that you have a special guest behind you, sir.
Absolutely.
Would you like to introduce that?
Yes, it's just here. This is a brew from a company called Brewdog. I don't know if you have them over in the States, but this is Dead Pony Club.
Ooh.
And it is a session IPA. It is very light on the ABV.
Okay.
But yeah, it is a very tasty craft beer.
Perfect, sir. It's noon here. I know it's about 8 p.m. over in Bristol.
Yes.
So I am going to have a beverage, though. I'm not squeaking out of that, but I have coffee just with a little craft Panama rum poured right in there. So you know, it's the sun's out, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere or 8 o'clock in Bristol. So l'chaim, my friend.
Cheers, buddy.
Oh, yeah. See, just a little bit of craft rum makes everything better. So, Tim, what is... I love starting the show off this new way, and I always like to know what's the number one way MTG has impacted your life in a positive way?
I'd say mostly through making friends. I think widening friendship groups is one of the sort of key parts of why I love the game. And yeah, when I moved down here, I didn't know anyone except for my wife and a handful of her friends. So when I was moving into this flat, there was a chap outside wearing a t-shirt with all the mana symbols on.
Nice.
And straight away there was that instant connection. And then I found a group of Magic players straight away to sort of integrate with. So I think just sort of being able to just sort of move anywhere and find people to get on with and have something in common with is a fantastic way that it's impacted.
Absolutely. You're a big proponent as well as I am in the whole kind of We Are MTG movement, and it's not just a content creator family, but it's just people, like-minded people, like you said, just kind of getting together and talking about and creating things all around this game that we so love. And it's a funny story because the other day I was at work and I saw a gentleman quite older, about 10, 15 years older than myself, maybe a little bit more, wearing the Is It shirt, right? So I now in retrospect, I wish I would have approached him differently, but I kind of snuck up behind him. It was very low, like my voice is really low. I'm like, I'm more of a Orzhov Syndicate man, but I do enjoy the Is It League. And he just kind of like jumped and looked at me. He's like, okay, man. Like, and then I'm like, oh, God, okay, well, have a nice day. But yeah, it's just like, it always, I mean, unless you're doing it wrong like I just did, but it's always a good icebreaker, no matter if you're the most outgoing person or, you know, more of an introvert as well.
Yeah, I'm not the most sort of out there person. I'm not too flamboyant or anything like that. So yeah, it's always really nice to have something to be able to help sort of get the conversation going.
Absolutely. I like watching your videos, and this is kind of jumping around, but you would never know that you're not a very outgoing person because you have such a great speaking cadence and a fantastic way of taking your audience through information in a very entertaining way. So that's surprising.
Thank you.
That you would say that you're more reserved. But without further ado, Tim, what is your Magic origin story? How did the spark ignite?
It started with my grandma. actually. Funnily enough,
This is
when
a
me
hive
and
mind first.
yes, so I've got one brother. He's a couple of years younger than me, and one Christmas, my grandparents, my grandma bought him the old Star Wars CCG, like a starter box of cards, the old Decipher game. And so, because he got them, I wanted some. So we both ended up playing Star Wars cards against each other. And then we found a LGS and yeah, went down there to play. And they were all playing Magic. They weren't playing Star Wars. So yeah, got roped into that. It was, I can't remember exactly the set that had just come out, but it was around Homeland's 4th edition,
Oh, wow.
that kind of time. So yeah, quite a long time ago. We didn't really know what we were doing. We played with crazy, crazy decks. Then my friends sort of jumped in on it as well from school, so I wasn't just sort of playing with my brother then. And yeah, we used to build like 40 card decks with 4 of. So we were basically playing anything goes, but 40 cards, 4 of each, and we just came up with the most brutal stuff. Like Dark Ritual, Sengir Vampire was sort of the most prominent opening hand that we would aim to go for. So yeah, we played through secondary school. I can't remember what the equivalent is. Elementary?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we played through that until sort of going off to university, and then I stopped playing cards for a long, long time, up until Eventide, where I was in Wales at that point, and again found an awesome game shop to go down and play. Met a great group of friends and played Eventide through to Zendikar, and then stopped playing at Zendikar.
Wow.
Which, I know, what a time to stop playing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, looking back, that was something that kind of, yeah, maybe if I just carried on a little bit longer, I might have got that chase.
Just one set away, sir. One set away.
And then I've always dabbled in 40k. I'm a big sort of Warhammer player as well.
Okay.
As one of my other major hobbies. So sort of dipped out of Magic back into 40k, and then with the move down here, meeting some new Magic players around Kaladesh time. Yeah, fully became immersed back in the MTG multiverse.
Have you kind of put Warhammer aside for now, or is that still kind of a thing that sneaks its way back into your life from time to time?
It's in shoeboxes in the cupboard at the moment, all of my toy soldiers. But yeah, I keep meaning to. It's time consuming.
That's an expensive shoebox, I'm sure, because those are not cheap.
No, they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, you started in Homelands in around 4th edition, and you stayed, but then you went all the way to Eventide, and then quit at Zendikar. You did kind of the polar opposite of most people's trajectories. But I mean, did you gravitate to a certain kind of playing style back in those 40 card casual matches? Did you gravitate toward a certain color, or you were just like, I like playing big fat creatures, or I like burning my opponent out, or like you said, kind of gravitated more towards black?
Yeah, it's the polar opposite to what I enjoy playing now. In the 60 card starter deck of 4th edition that I opened, I got a Stasis in it. Ooh. And that set the tone. So I built a deck which had Stasis and Serra Angels, and there was another Falcon, I think it was, that had Vigilance as well. So the game plan was, although I didn't know it at the time, Azorius stacks, basically. Some Kismets thrown in there to stop things untapping. And yeah, I was that guy in our friend
Fun
group.
Police, yeah.
Yes.
They're like, oh yay, Tim's playing.
Yeah, I've mellowed out now. No longer go for that kind of thing as much.
Sure. Since you started, I mean, playing back all the way to Homelands and everything, were you kind of aware of the local game scene back then in the UK? Because I know as of late it's really exploded, not just with content creation, but also just Magic in general and other games in general. Did you notice a real growth in the UK in the gaming community?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, when it all started, there was just sort of playing with groups of friends. There weren't really games clubs at school or anything like that, and there was barely anything sort of any sort of communication as to what was happening. But yeah, there's so many tournaments going on. There's tons of sort of retailers as well, like card stores that are setting up their own tournaments. And yeah, we seem to get a lot of love from kind of like WPN events and things like that. Lots of sort of winner box qualifier tournaments going on. There seems to be a real thriving sort of scene.
Yeah. Did you ever kind of sit down and try to go full competitive? Did you ever have like kind of illusions of grandeur of becoming a pro, or were you always just kind of more happy to sit down and do more of like, singleton formats, casual formats and whatnot?
Yeah, the F&Ms and standard showdowns are about as competitive as I've ever gotten. I haven't even, I've been to a couple of GPs now and haven't played in any events there either. I just sort of prefer to casually sort of hang out and play some Commander or something like that. If I knuckle down, I'd like to think that I could maybe not top 8, but like not let myself down. But yeah, I just don't have that kind of focus to just keep on sort of hammering out the same deck over and over, learning exactly how to sideboard with it and that kind of thing. I'd rather just sort of chill out and
sure.
And yeah.
If you were, would standard be your focus, or do you like more of the other eternal formats like modern? And
I've only ever had one game of modern in my life, believe it or not. And that was against Pleasant Kenobi.
What were you playing? What was he playing?
I had to borrow a deck, and I was playing Tron. Someone lent me a Tron deck, and it was at the GPs used to have come and meet the celebrities, as it were. Sections where you could go along and sort of try and win a booster pack. And yeah, he was free for a game, but had modern decks as he likes to play. I didn't, so I had to borrow a deck off someone and ended up playing Tron. And I don't think I won. I can't honestly remember. But yeah, standard would be my competitive format of choice.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you after playing Tron once, and that was my only introduction to Modern. I might not play it again, but I think that Modern has a lot of fun to it now, especially with the infusion all the cards of Modern Horizon, which not only helped out that format, but the format that you're more familiar with. More on that later. But what was it about Magic? You said you played Warhammer and probably some other games. What is it about Magic that just keeps you coming back for more?
It's just the endless possibilities that I really enjoy. There is just such a deep amount of synergies and combinations and things that you can just do with it that is just so exciting. I don't think I'd ever get to a point where I would be able to say I know everything and I've run out of ideas for decks or new sort of ideas for how to play. I think it's just got so much depth to it that you can just keep on exploring it for as long as you want. Absolutely.
Especially when you're kind of doing what we're doing, and it's like there's always something to be excited about. I felt like Modern Horizons was a huge boon of excitement, and especially right before that we had all the Ravnica sets with yes. I like to call it Magic Endgame, but Oops All Planeswalkers, and now we're already into Magic Core Set 20 spoilers, and it's just there's no foot off the pedal, and even before that, ancillary things to be excited about, like the announcement of finally we're going to get a Magic animated on Netflix, which is something that I'm especially excited for. So it seems like they have really found a way to keep its player base excited about something, and
yes.
There's just a real buzz about Magic right now.
Yeah, it's been an absolute roller coaster this year. There's just been so much going on from I think a lot of it's actually been led from Arena.
Yeah.
Arena has just sort of paved the way for, they've seen how popular it is. I don't know if we actually know how popular it is, but yeah, they seem to be And that seems to have filled them with confidence to be able to push the boat out and keep doing these new things that they are.
And that's a great segue to my next question. How much paper Magic are you playing nowadays as opposed to digital formats like Arena or MTGO?
I'm pretty much all digital this year so far. I just have had such a packed schedule, and with Arena being there, and getting into MTGO for playtesting Commander decks and things like that, I just have ended up doing that a lot more than heading down to my LGS, unfortunately. Hopefully there'll be some time coming up to head down there. But yeah, I think it's just so much, as there's a lot of ease of access that you can just sort of pick up a game there. Not to say that I haven't been buying cards and building paper decks. They're all sitting up here behind me, ready to go.
Always be prepared, right?
Yes. It's just getting that chance to do it.
So what I'm going to ask you this because I know you're such a huge Arena fan. And you're also a Commander fan, so like you said, you kind of have to split your time between the two, going, playing your singleton formats on MTGO, and then, but still, Arena is such a crisp and beautiful, aesthetically, it's just such a superior program. I'm just clearly asking you for, your preference. Would you like to eventually see Arena support all the singleton formats?
That would be an absolute dream come true, really. Yeah, to have something looking that professional and that stylish would, it would just elevate Commander, I think. Because at the moment, it's... have you tried to play Commander online?
Oh, yeah.
Yes. It's an experience.
It is. It's like a time warp. It's like playing on my Game Boy again. But not in a complimentary way at all, because it's 2019, for God's sake. I
understand.
Yeah, it's a thing. Like I like that paper, like EDH is, and now Oathbreaker and whatever else you want to, your multiplayer formats. I like that it's hollowed to an extent where you have to literally go out and because half of the experience of Commander is the social experience, the politics, all that, and that is really it can't be that feeling can't be duplicated digitally, right? But like you said, people with schedules, I would rather play Magic than not, and the format I like, so I could see pros and cons for both.
Yeah, and funny enough, since making content about Magic, it has impeded my ability to go out and play Magic.
100%. Oh,
so,
yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it's getting that balance, and I think I'm heading there. But yeah, you're absolutely right. MTGO has a chat feature where you can actually talk, if people are not just spamming abuse at you. Whereas MTGA, you've just got a few button clicks of some very inane phrases that you can click to. So yeah, I think if they were to implement sort of a multiplayer format on it, they would need to put in place some kind of better way of communicating with your players around the table.
Absolutely. I feel like it's just a matter of time before they just integrate the two. I know that's, everyone's like, oh, that's just so, like, MTGO kind of looks the way it does because it's such a big program, and that's the only way that it could kind of, but it's like, no, we're in a new era. I think that's kind of a cop-out. I think eventually, probably within the next, with how rapid things are happening with Magic, especially now that it's red hot, I would assume within the next 3 years we're going to integrate the two of them, kind of merge them together, and everything be looking like Arena, but it playing like MTGO.
That would be awesome, and definitely sort of in the next few years I can see that happening.
Yeah. So what inspired you from taking the game from the tabletops to going, you know what, I love this game, but I have something to say about it too. What made you jump into content creation?
I started out on Instagram, So I'd been a long time user of Instagram, taking photos of my dinners and things like that, as people do, and then found that people were taking photos of magic cards and putting them on Instagram, like awesome foils and things like that, or sort of rarities. And so, yeah, I started doing a bit of that, taking some photos of some of the older cards that I had. And then I saw that people were opening booster packs, and that that was a thing. So I was like, oh, I can open booster packs. I've got a camera on the back of my phone. And that's how it all started, just doing booster pack openings, really, inspired by Instagram, but uploaded onto YouTube. And yeah, that was the sort of the first handful of videos that I made. And then after that, so it was like I was really pleased with. I just brewed my Cats deck for Amonkhet Standard. And so, yeah, I wanted to share that and thought, right, I'll have a go at making a deck for that as well. So it was all just basically trial and error that I'd stumbled into it from seeing other people doing it. Before that, I'd never really watched a lot of Magic YouTube. I was aware of The Professor and Wedge and Dev, Strictly, MTG. But other than that, I wasn't particularly seeking content about Magic before I decided to start making it. It was only afterwards that I then dived into the world of sort of Magic content online.
Yeah, well, I mean, thank God you did, because I mean, from your audio, your video quality, like I said before, the cadence in which you deliver the information, it's one of the sleekest and cleanest channels out there. The professor even said as much on social media, which was awesome. You seem to have mastered like the most difficult aspects in content creation, and that's have your production look great, have it sound great, all while being entertaining and informative. Did that come naturally for you, or is that something that you find yourself constantly having to refine?
I've always been relatively technical minded, but it was a learning curve and still is. I watch an awful lot of sort of how-to videos on how to get this kind of stuff set up.
Sure.
Watch an awful lot of product reviews just in picking my microphone to get that right. Was a major sort of endeavor to get that right. And yeah, it's just a lot of trial and error. I release like 2 videos every week, and so it's just sort of a gradual build up of knowledge over time that's got me to where I am.
Yeah, well, it's really sleek. I mean, everything from the video and audio quality to the thumbnails, like it just looks like you're just sitting in a nice new car. When I'm watching your videos, you could smell that new car smell, which is great. It's a very cool feeling, because I mean the basics are hard. Like I still struggle week to week on audio issues or video or tech issues, because I'm not as, I'm an old man playing with sticks. So it's a difficult progression, but I really appreciate the content creators like yourself that kind of master the basic foundation to really have a great presentation.
Thanks. Yeah. It's not an inbuilt ability. It was mostly just sort of self-taught, and just keep on trying things, keep on failing until one time it goes right.
Do you remember a time when we got to like watch like YouTube for entertainment? Now, like you said, I feel like we just watch, what kind of mic, what kind of studio lighting, and how to OBS and how to this, how to that. But it's all for you, ladies and gentlemen. So
and thankfully it's something that I really love. Just thought the more that I do it, the more I really, really enjoy making these videos and putting the time into figuring out how to do it. That is what I really enjoy.
Absolutely. And you've really, like I said, I've found your channel very, very early on, but you've really zeroed in on like all things singleton. So you have become like the singleton channel, which is not just, there's other commander channels out there, which you have a heavy focus on, but you do deck techs for commander, brawl, and now even the red hot Oathbreaker. What is it about having one copy of a card in your deck that really inspires you to make a video about it?
It's easier to track the one copy down than 4.
Fair enough.
I just like the variety.
Yeah.
I figured that I've got a limited budget and that I'd rather have more cards than fewer cards, but more copies of that one card. It's basically sort of a bit of magpie syndrome, where I'd rather have lots of cards. Doesn't have to be shiny, and yeah, I just find that the randomness of it as well really appeals to me. Obviously, there's ways and means like tutoring and things like that of taking the randomness out of it, but I really just enjoy every game feels different to the next one by having singleton formats.
Yeah, absolutely. So what are your, I'd be remiss not to ask, what are your favorite commanders, of course, and then also now your favorite Oathbreakers?
So my favourite commander is Aurelia the War Leader, the original Aurelia.
Nice.
So yeah, I've always had a Boros Angels deck of some sort. It been through many iterations. But yeah, that's one deck that I've always sort of had built up and kept with me. For Oathbreaker, I've only actually built one paper deck so far, and that has been my Arlen Cord Werewolves deck, which is an awful lot of fun, with Mistform as the signature spell. So you can, transform those humans over and then prevent damage.
That's so good. Everyone was just like, "Oh, how come they can't make a good werewolf commander?" We've been waiting for forever to get a competent commander deck with werewolf theme, and you could kind of make it with the what's the big one from the newer Innistrad, Shadows over Innistrad. He's the flip. He's a flip legendary character, but that was even like
Ulrich.
Yeah, that was even like not the best. So
No.
If you want to be a purist, you could sit down with a bad werewolf deck. But that Oathbreaker with Arlen Cord, if you look at it, that's like one of the most competitive and highest winning percentages that you could get with an Oathbreaker deck. So it's funny that these two singleton formats is just like one of them is just the worst, and then you take the same deck essentially, you put the Planeswalker in as the commander, and it becomes very, very good.
Yeah, I think there's definitely space to have both formats. One's not going to be taken away from the other, and vice versa. Yeah, it just opens up an exciting new space to build.
Yeah. How real is Oathbreaker? I don't know if you played through the Tiny Leaders era or the Frontier era. I even got kind of fooled by Tiny Leaders. I was there for it, but Oathbreaker really has that, at least to me, that buzz about it, that it feels like even I think WotC tried to make another format with Brawl, and that didn't really work, but this Oathbreaker format is just on fire right now. Do you think this is here to stay?
It feels like it is, but I've said that before. I am a massive bandwagon jumper on her. So Tiny Leaders, I was all over that. I even had a mono white samurai Tiny Leaders deck, which I absolutely loved. And again, Brawl, I went completely into that as well. Absolutely loved it. But this one, it feels very much that there is a huge amount of natural support for it.
Yeah.
That is not being foisted upon us by up above. And that, it seems to have that real sort of community swell of support, which I think will see it through in the long run.
Yeah, I really do. And I don't think Brawl's completely dead in the water. I know WotC said it kind of didn't work out as much as they wanted it to, but I still think there's something there, and if they want to make that work, they can. But it just feels like Oathbreaker is everything that we wanted a commander variant to be, and I'm glad it's here. And I've, like I said, I guess you could say I'm a bandwagon jumper as well, because I haven't built a new deck in a while, and I was on my floor sifting through cards the other day building a Sorin deck. So,
Oh, sweet.
I think it's here, man. So you've also dipped your toe into like more specialized videos with integrating arena formats for like the Mormor event and then the singleton.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy making those videos, and can we expect more of those in the future?
Yeah, that was great. It was purely out of chasing the stained glass arts for the planeswalkers that I went through that. But yeah, I really enjoyed those events. I do enjoy playing on arena with the non-regular things like they throw on there every now and then. So there's definitely going to be a lot more singleton content. And now I'm in the summer holidays. There's going to be some streaming happening, some actual live streaming over either on my channel or Twitch. But yeah, definitely going to be doing that on a semi-regular basis because it is something that I really enjoy. Yeah. And as you said earlier, just you can't help but look at it. It is a fantastic looking program and just makes it so easy to watch Magic now.
What was your favorite of those little specialized formats for this event, the stained glass event?
I really liked the last one, actually, with the +1/+1 counters. Mm-hmm. I thought that was a lot of fun, and that meant that I could play my Boros Mentor deck, and that comboed really nicely with mentoring, and then they just kept on leveling up each turn with the +1/+1s on top of that. So yeah, that one was really fun.
I thought I was gonna hate that one. I really did, but once in Singleton, I was struggling to find a good one. I was trying to go mono red and it wasn't working. I tried to do like an Orzhov Life game, it wasn't working. Man, as soon as I slapped on those Simic Merfolk deck, I didn't lose, man. Like it was for real. And then I basically ported that over to the counters thing. And I'm just like, I'm just going to play all my little unblockable Merfolk, and then just the rest of them are going to be support Merfolk that give them counters. And I don't even care what my opponent did half the time. I let him through. I'm like, yeah, come and attack for 10. I don't care because you're dead the next turn and I'm drawing cards and all my stuff's unblockable. It was incredible.
Yeah, Merfolk counters was something that I came up against quite a lot as I was running through that last challenge.
Yeah. That's a deck, man. Like, made a believer out of green blue Merfolk was for the win, man. So Tim, what is your favorite type of video that you make?
I haven't made too many of them, but I really enjoy sort of making more essay style videos, where I just sort of take a topic and run with it. So I've done one looking at the history of horses in Magic: The Gathering.
That's awesome.
It was inspired by Crested Sunmare. Which was one of my favourite cards from recent times. And yeah, I just sort of went back through a history, starting off with Nightmare, the original black horse, and then just seeing where they come in and out of sets, a Crowan horse from Theros, things like that. But yeah, it just gives me a chance to sort of research an area where I don't always pay attention or know much about, so it helps me learn and hopefully creates an interesting video in the process. So I'm trying to bring a bit more of that to the channel. Not saying that I've been watching an awful lot of Ristic Studies lately, but so I've got a few sort of topics lined up. Like I want to do a lot more about sort of basic lands as well. I know it's kind of like a relatively overlooked area of building your deck, but yeah, I wanted to sort of look at the history of basic lands and things like that. And I have a real love for the artwork of the game as well, so that's a lot of the videos that I enjoy making. Look at sort of the art and the design of the cards.
That's funny that you say that, because the horse video you did was one of my favorites that you've done, and that's just the type of content that I really seek out, like you said, like heuristic studies, or Groucho Marco is a new one that's exploded on the scene. He's incredible. Even to the more comedic side, like Spice 8 Rack. It's just I love those kind of video essays, whether they be more straightforward and serious and informative, or just completely madcap crazy. But yeah. But speaking of again, another good segue, the UK MTG content creation scene has really exploded in the last year or two. Creators like yourself, as well as Pleasant Kenobi, Spice 8 Rack, Absolute MTG, Jungle Fiverr, seemingly more and more every day, all the time. What does that mean to you that the UK is represented so strongly in this genre of content creation?
I think it means a lot, really. I probably wouldn't be where I am and doing what I'm doing without the other guys that you mentioned. Sort of when I first started, I stumbled around on social media and came across Matt from Total MTG and Abby and James from Master of Magics, and that sort of group of people. And yeah, we sort of formed a bit of a bond and sort of all really helped to almost like tell each other that what we were doing was valid and was good, and that we sort of had a place alongside sort of our US counterparts and things like that. So yeah, I think that the growing scene in the UK for creating content, writing articles, there's a huge amount of people writing articles as well over here that are sort of getting published, and more recognition as well. So yeah, it's been fantastic over the past couple of years to see more and more people emerge.
It's so good too. Like I love like British humor anyways. Like I like all the Edgar Wright movies are just like my favorite.
They're fantastic.
Oh yeah. So when this kind of content creation is being generated from the UK for Magic, I'm just like, I'm on cloud nine, because that's just like exactly where I like it to be. Did you said you got to meet Vince? Did you get to meet Connor yet?
I haven't. No, I was meant to go to GP London this year. However, I really injured my knee and didn't get to go, unfortunately. So yeah, I was looking forward to meeting Connor, Mr. Spiced, 8 rack. Yeah. So yeah, that was a shame, unfortunately. Funny enough, Edgar Wright with the Cornetto trilogy, my hometown is where they filmed The World's End.
So good. Oh, that's incredible.
So yeah, they went drinking in pubs that I went drinking in when I was younger.
Oh, no way. That's awesome, man. Yeah, I'm such a Edgar Wright nerd. I love everything he's done, and especially everything with Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. Those are my favorite comedies, man. He's just so good. How cool is that? So, like I said before, you and I have been doing this for a while now. Are you still just as hungry and excited about the content creation grind as you were when you first turned the camera on?
Absolutely, yeah. Even more so, really. With doing it, I've received a mild amount of validation from viewers and now friends, and yeah, that just makes me really want to sort of keep on making what I'm doing, keep on striving to be better, so that I can prove to myself that I can do it, and in a weird way, so that I can show people that have had sort of faith and belief in what I do that yeah, I can sort of take it further and just keep running with it. Yeah, it just turns into a big circle of I want to do better, and then other people see that I'm doing better, say, wow, that was pretty cool, and then yeah, that then spurs me on to keep going again.
Yeah, absolutely. What's been your favorite opportunity that you got to experience that you only could have experienced because you are in this community?
Not any one experience, but
Sure.
one type of experience. So this meeting up with other people, and yeah, being on things like the Hive Mind. I've had the opportunity to be on a few people's sort of shows over the past year or two, from Fishing, the Merfolk podcast, to Man Cave MTG, or Undying MTG, actually, so I should get the brand right now. Yeah, so just being sort of invited to be part of someone else's content has been absolutely fantastic, and that's what I've really enjoyed, being able to make friends with people enough that they would have me on their channels and things like that.
Absolutely. Now that this is like the Trojan horse, I got you on the Hive Mind. Now I'm gonna put you on the live show, 10th Street Hooligans, or it's more madcap, and really let our hair down. And there's some stuff on that show that happens. Who knows? But no,
I have to make sure I have the day off after, so I can stay up that late.
Might want to take a week off. No, isn't that great though? It's just like. You watch some of these people and then now you interact with them, whether it be on social media or actually like this, and we actually get to have a video chat or even meet up in person. It's just such a cool thing to be a part of. It's like we're little mini celebrities in our little niche, but it's still a really cool feeling when we get to interact with people that not only inspire us but also our peers.
Yeah, definitely so. And yeah, it's great that sort of internet friends then become sort of real friends through the game. It is so cool.
Absolutely. So I admittedly was stalking your creative life in prep for the show, as I tend to do. Just don't call anyone yet. But I realized you were a big M83 fan, which ironically I listen to I just let playlists blast in my earphones while I'm writing all of my outlines for the Hive Mind episodes. So that was cool. So what are some of your other musical interests and some other non-Magic related interests that folks at home don't know about you?
Ooh, yeah, I'm quite heavily into music at the moment. Have been for a long time, but it kind of goes in phases of discovering new bands and things like that. One band that that's coming over to the UK, and I've got tickets to go and see in November. They're called The National. Okay. I don't know if they're too big over there, but they've done about 9 albums now. They're indie, kind of almost sort of fairly symphonic indie music.
Okay.
So yeah, they're a band that I'm currently really into, and lots of sort of things along the M83 route that don't necessarily have words or singers. Mogwai is a band. They're from Scotland. Absolutely love them.
Yep.
Yeah, and yeah, they just make amazing soundscapes, and they've gone into film soundtracks recently as well, like M83 did, which is really cool. I am quite a big film fan as well. Mostly in the sci-fi genre. I generally watch an awful lot of sci-fi films. I have to say Interstellar was absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
And Arrival, I really loved. Denis Villeneuve's Arrival. I'm really excited to see his remake of Dune is going to be coming out at some point.
Right. Man, well, when Jason Alt and I are doing the Denis Villeneuve director's cut, I know who to call.
Yeah, and what else? He did the Blade Runner remake as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's on a bit of a remake streak.
Yeah. He's just absolutely fantastic. It's just like him and like Alex Garland. They're just kind of exploding onto the scenes with these. Alex Garland was the one that did like Ex Machina and then Annihilation, which was a little bit weaker, but still visually stunning. It was incredible.
Yeah.
But these just new filmmakers just exploding onto the scene right now, and it's just fantastic. And yeah, it's such a great time to be a sci-fi fan, because we have more avenues than just your standard IPs like your Star Wars and your Star Trek. There's these now original pieces that are genre bending, that are going into sci-fi horror and sci-fi drama and sci-fi comedy. It's just such a great time to see. This is what I do. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I like movies too, Tim.
Yeah, music and film. I knew that would get a good reaction.
You set me up. Yeah. Oh, man. All right. Well, before we get into Face the D20, what are your short and long-term goals in the game itself and in content creation?
Long-term goal would be in the game to have a commander deck of each color variation.
Okay.
It's something that I'm working towards. I've got about 7 or 8 now fully built that haven't been taken apart to build another one. So yeah, I would like one for each of the 10 guilds, and then one for each of the tricolors, shards as they were. So yeah, that's a long-term acquisition goal. For content creation, I would like to see how far I can go people people have shown that it is possible for a UK content creator to go places and to become a full-time content creator. Yeah. So that's way down the line. But yeah, that's in the back of my mind that this is something that I am that passionate about, that I want to do that.
Absolutely. I mean, I think you're well on your way, sir. Going back to your project of getting one commander for every color combination, what is that one that's like the holy grail that you just can't wait?
Oh, it is I can never remember which color they're missing, but it is the guys from Theros, the 4-color commander from Commander 17, I think it was.
Yeah.
That came out when Atraxa came out. And I've never built a group hug deck. And I wouldn't know where to begin. I've got them sitting in my binder, ready to be built. But yeah, I've never dared to go anywhere near building that deck and a group hug deck yet, for fear of just giving everyone all the toys and then not having any way to capitalize on it and then steal the game back. It would just be, here's everything. Oh no, you've killed me at the moment.
You never played with the hippo, the flying hippo, then? I guess.
Feldegriff. No, yeah. I haven't, unfortunately. No, that's a very cool deck as well.
No, it's not. It's awful. I hated playing against the damn hippo. No, it is fun. I do like. I've always been more of a fan of the group slug decks, like the Necrosars and stuff like that, where it's not just one person getting shafted. Yeah. It's everyone, including myself, and let's just see whose luck runs out first. But yeah. The group hug decks I always try to zero in and go for, because I'm like, no, I just don't trust you. You're being way too nice. And then the next, everyone's built up and having a good time, and he's like, oh, yep, you're dead, and everyone's dead but me. And you can never trust someone trying to give you candy, right?
No.
Oh, man. All right, Tim, we are at the point of the episode. It's Face the D20. Do you have a spin down, sir?
I do. I've got one. It's my favorite guild.
Oh, Ouroboros action?
Yep. Yeah,
perfect. So,
right.
For the uninitiated, Face the D20 is so Tim, the Digital Llama, is going to spin his spin down. I have 20 questions in front of me. Each correlates to a non-Magic the Gathering related question. So we get to know a little bit more about the man behind the llama. So, sir, whenever you are ready.
Right. First roll is a 5.
Number 5, a hidden talent not a lot of people know about you.
Hidden talent. I wouldn't say it's a hidden talent, but I can do very weird things with my thumbs.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Let's see.
They bend way further back than they actually should. Yeah. And it's not just the one, it is actually both.
Wow.
I mean, I can't actually sort of, like some people that are double jointed can actually bend their thumb further back. But sure. Yeah, I just have very, very bendy fingers that just go the wrong way.
Wow. It looks like you were just very mad at a stamp.
Yeah. So, yeah. That is... not so much a talent. It's completely useless. But...
Not for mailing postage. Hey, this is also a first. We always get told about the talent. We never get it demonstrated. So that's incredible. All right, sir. Let's roll again.
Another roll?
Yeah.
Okay, 14 this time.
Number 14. Your favorite non-Magic the Gathering YouTube channel.
Ooh, Matt Diavella.
Okay.
His channel is just Matt Diavella, and he is a minimalist. It's something that I've been exploring for sort of the past year. He makes very, very entertaining videos about minimalism, and it's not just about getting rid of all of your stuff.
Right.
Is Marie Kondo, I believe it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's exploded as well. So it's along those kinds of lines where you keep what brings you joy, but try and eliminate distractions and stuff like that. But yeah, he makes very, very entertaining videos about that, and also just about content creation. So yeah, he's a go-to. He's very funny. He has an obsession with The Rock as well, and I'm very, very much a fan of Dwayne Johnson. If he had a YouTube channel, I would be watching that mostly. Yeah.
When I used to work in Vegas, I used to have to cater to the like we had a big convention called CinemaCon that would come to Caesar's Palace, and so I did get to see The Rock, except I only saw like the back profile of him, and his arm is literally bigger than my torso, and I'm not a skinny person, so. But
Yeah.
I heard he's just the sweetest. Another quick, I almost ran over Sylvester Stallone and Tom Cruise with a giant chafing dish because they are literally tiny people.
Wow.
Yeah. Talk about tiny leaders, those two.
The closest that I've ever come to seeing a celebrity out in the wild was I once saw Stephen Fry crossing the road in front of me in London.
That's cool.
But he was too far away for me to intercept.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's the dad in Shaun of the Dead, right?
Stephen Fry is no, he's not. That's Bill Nye.
Oh, right.
Stephen Fry is the narrator for many things. Harry Potter audiobooks.
Oh, okay. Yep, got it. Nice, man. That's awesome. Yeah. Let's do one more roll if you have time.
One roll. Yeah, of course. Let's get on it. Didn't really roll, but it's a 9.
And it's ask the interviewer anything. So time to put you on the spot, put you in the host seat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What is your favourite biscuit? Do you have biscuits? Are they cookies, or do you have biscuits?
Well, yeah. I mean, we have like so you're not talking about like the actual like biscuits and gravy type of fluffy.
Oh no, like a Jaffa cake or a hobnob.
Okay.
Or an Oreo.
Do you guys have? I'm not an Oreo fan. Do you have Girl Scouts over there? Like Girl Scout cookies?
We have Girl Scouts. I've never seen them selling cookies.
Oh my god!
But I'm aware that activity happens.
Yeah, that's tragic because they have a cookie called a Samoa, I think it is, and it's basically I guess Caramel Delight maybe would be more well known. We call them Samoas, but it's like coconut with caramel, and it's all like held together by chocolate drizzle.
That sounds epic.
I could just go into a coma on those. It's just like my wife has to push me past the poor little Girl Scouts because I will buy them out of Samoa cookies and then go into a diabetic coma.
Fantastic. Yeah, that sounds lush.
Yeah, it is quite nice. All right, sir, you survived, faced a D20. How do you feel?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It wasn't quite as intense as I thought it would be.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll ramp it up next time. No.
Yeah, sorry, next person. I'm spoiled.
I know, right? Tim, any upcoming projects you could tease or spoil for the audience?
So having slated Tiny Leaders, I've got a Tiny Leaders deck coming up actually.
Nice.
Ayula, Bear Tribal.
We'll never run from the fun because we're bears, 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 bears.
I tried building it in Commander. There just weren't enough cool bears to fill out an entire 99, so I thought, why not make it a 50 card?
Very cool.
And then, like I mentioned earlier, I've got sort of the video essays on basic lands coming out shortly-ish.
Awesome.
So they'll be along in due course. The one about mountains should be out in sort of the next week or two, really. But yeah, that's a
multi-video series then.
Yes, yeah. There's one for each colour of land. So yeah, it'll be a little series to dip into, which will be quite fun.
How great is that? Wow, Tim Walker, the Dijital Llama. Thank you so much for planeswalking in, sir. Where can everyone find you?
So on YouTube, I am Dijital Llama with my very awkward spelling with a J. On Twitter, I am also Dijital Llama, all one word. Instagram, though, I mixed it up a bit. There's an underscore in between the digital and the llama.
I tried to steer away from it because I'm sure you get this all the time. But the very last question is, what's with the llama?
It was dreamt up in the back of a maths class, and being very bored with squared paper, me and my friends just started doodling, and something looked like a llama or an animal, and then that just kind of stuck with me through life until I needed to come up with a brand for my digital outpourings.
Sure.
So
It's stuck in my brain as well as it should stick in everyone else's. Please go on over to Tim's channel, like and subscribe. Watch all the videos because they are just fantastic, especially if you are so inclined to enjoy singleton formats. Commander, tiny leaders, he's still making it happen, ladies and gentlemen. But thank you again for planeswalking in. You could find me on this very channel, They Said We Said, doing all things magic and movies. You could find me personally on social media at Orzhov Dunn. You could also head on over to cardsphere.com because they are simply the best place to buy, sell, and trade your paper Magic the Gathering cards online. If you'd like to listen to this in audio format only, you could do so by going to constructedcriticism.com because that is where the podcast is up exclusively. So until next time, Planeswalkers, I'll see you all in the multiverse.